Guys, in this video we are going to be comparing the Glock 19 to the Glock 43x. I wanted to come on here and actually show you guys these two pistols side by side. I've talked about this before in other videos, but there are a lot of folks out there that are new to my channel, and I wanted to revisit this one. A lot of folks out there are carrying and trying to decide between one or the other of these two firearms, and that's why basically what I wanted to do is to get both of these out and to show you the similarities and the differences of them. Now, if you want to get the exact specs as far as weight, as far as the size and all of that, then go down to the description of this video, then I will have it listed down there. Now, what we have here are two firearms that are very popular for concealed carry. The Glock 19 is probably one that has been the most popular for a very long time. Whenever the Glock 19 came out, it was one that became very popular with law enforcement, with a lot of special operations, militaries across the world, and things like that due to its size as well as its reliability. When Glock came out with the 43x, this was something that was, I guess you could say, their contribution to the Micro 9 rave that is hit today. Now, what I want to begin with is the fact that there is one obvious difference between these two pistols. But before we get started, I would appreciate it if you would give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment down below, as well as share the video. That way it helps the YouTube algorithm to let them know that you guys like more of this content. The first thing that you will notice as far as the differences between these two firearms is ammunition capacity. The standard Glock 19 magazine comes with 15 rounds for most of us in the free parts of the country, 10 rounds for some of you guys in some of the less free parts of the country. Of course, the Glock 43x, the standard capacity on it is 10 rounds. Now, I know that there are aftermarket magazines available for the Glock 43x that increases the amount of ammunition that you can carry in one of those. And once this video is over, I would appreciate it if you would go up to the card in the corner, and I'm going to put a video up there that I did as far as why I think you need to stick with the factory Glock magazines, especially in the 43x, if it is a gun you are going to conceal carry. Now, the pistols, there are differences in the width, the length, and everything. So let's just go ahead and show you guys a close-up. Now, of course, these sights, I have excess sights on each of these two firearms. I've got the 3-dot tritium on the 43x, and I have the excess big dots DXT2s on the 19. Okay, but you can kind of see some of the differences in the thickness of these guns. There is a noticeable difference there, as you can clearly see. There's also a difference in the length. Now I'm going to put them slide to slide. We're going to go from the back to the front, and you can see the difference in length as well. The Glock 43x is obviously much shorter than the 19. Of course, you know, that is one of the things that they have done as far as size. I mean, and the ammunition capacity and things like that. The grips are very similar but different. So let's look at those real carefully. You can see that the length of the grip are very similar as far as the length of the grip, but the thickness is different. That's where you really get into the size saving with the 43x. Now, of course, on the 19, it is wider to accommodate for those wider magazines, and on the 43x, it's much narrower. Now, depending on what your style is as far as how you grip your firearm, how big your hands are, you may have a preference between one or the other. I do have a friend who is retired law enforcement. He carries as his concealed carry firearm one of these 43x's. And for him, that grip on the 19 is just a bit large for his hand. Now, I do have the beaver tail on this particular Glock 19. That is something that I run most of my Glocks. If they are in a defensive role, I like that added protection there when I go to grip my gun, especially bringing it out of a holster. Now, I've talked about that in other videos as well on my channel. The 43X has basically its own little bit more of a sweep here to where you can get underneath there. Now, I know with the 19 there is some of that there also, but I went ahead and added that beaver tail to this. The 43X is one that is very easy to conceal, but due to its size, the grip on it is still one that you can get a good grip. Now, the size of my hands, I do have a good full grip on my 43X. That is something that I'm able to do just because of the way that they did this grip. The original 43 had that shorter grip, and for me it was not comfortable. I know that they had some magazines out there, some of the extensions and things like that that you could get, but for me, I really like that longer grip directly on the firearm, the way that it feels on the 43X. Both of these guns are on me very regularly. Okay, it's very common for me to conceal carry one or sometimes both of these particular firearms depending on the situation that I'm in. They are both very reliable. They have proven themselves reliable. I do have videos on each individual firearm that you see here on my channel. I'll try to leave some cards up here in the corner for you guys to go check those out. If you are trying to make the decision between the Glock 19 comparing it to the Glock 43X as your concealed carry firearm, I would recommend that you try to go to a gun range somewhere or find a friend that has each of these and try to shoot them. See if they will let you shoot them, or go to a gun range where they will let you rent one of these and let you try it out to see which of these firearms that you feel the most comfortable with. Both of these guns are very, very reliable. That is the thing about Glocks. I know there's a lot of people that want to hate Glock for one reason or another, but Glocks are known for their reliability, and that is something that few people question these days. But guys, again, if you want to get the specifics as far as the weight, as far as the actual dimensions between the Glock 19 and the Glock 43X, go down to the description of this video and I will have it down there. I would also, for those of you guys that are out there, let me know if you have these two or one of these, which of them that you actually prefer. Okay, just to show you guys the trigger on each of these. The triggers on them are typically Glock triggers. I mean, those of you guys out there that are familiar with the Glock trigger, you know, you get that little bit of sponginess. You hit that wall and it breaks. Okay, Glock triggers are something to each their own, I guess you could say. You know, every Glock trigger can be just a little bit different. Now, of course, this is my Gen 4 Glock 19. I do have a Gen 5 as well. Of course, the Glock 43X is basically a Gen 5. It does not have the finger grooves and that sort of thing. The trigger on this is a little bit stiffer, but of course it is much smaller of a firearm. Okay, you can feel the difference when you press the trigger between the 19 and the 43X. The trigger is just slightly, ever so slightly, a little stiffer on my 43X compared to my 19. But guys, again, go down to the description below. You can get the specifics down there. Check out some of the links to some of the different gear that we have down there. Become a channel member. You know, help support the work that we do here for the videos that we bring you. But guys, thanks for watching. Leave me a comment down below, and we'll see you next time.